At least one person in the United Kingdom has died with the Omicron coronavirus variant. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said the new variant was also resulting in hospital admissions, and the best thing people could do was get their booster jab. Visiting a vaccination clinic in London, he said people should set aside the idea that Omicron was a milder variant. On Sunday, the Prime Minister set a new target for all adults in England to be offered a booster by the end of the month. He also declared the Omicron emergency, announcing that booster jabs will be offered to everyone over 18, and from this week, some medical appointments to be postponed to focus on boosters. Well, joining us to talk more about the situation in England, Dr. Olufemi Oyekan. He is a family physician at Basildon University Hospital in the UK. He joins us virtually. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
I'd like to know first if you've heard about the potential for those coming to the UK to self-isolate at home instead of the 10 days mandatory hotel quarantine.
Thank you for making me part of this conversation. To the best of my knowledge, that information, it does not include the red list country which Nigeria specifically falls into that category. When we talk about the red list country, you are supposed to isolate in a government-owned center for 10 days, and you must have at least 2 negative COVID PCR tests before you can be allowed to leave the government center. But on the other hand, if you're coming from either an amber or a green country, what you have just said applies, because it's not all countries that have high incidence of the new variant called the Omicron variant. And what you will also note with regards to the situation in the UK, the fact that within the first week that the Omicron variant red alert was raised globally, 37 people that tested positive for the variant, 31 of them were migrants from Nigeria, which is one of the reasons why immediately when the scientists were trying to put up 1 or 2 together and realized that this variant is highly mutated, can break through immune barrier, and at the moment we are not sure if the vaccines are going to be able to protect against it. They had to put Nigeria and a few other Southern African countries into the red list. So that's where we are at the moment.
Over the weekend, we heard about studies that says, okay, maybe the vaccines, 2 doses aren't enough, but a booster, makes it more sufficient, about 75%. How are people reacting to the booster target by the Prime Minister?
To be very honest with you, because of how there's a credible cohesion between government and the people, where people understand here that the government specifically speaks and fight for them and to ensure that there is safety of life and properties. There has been a huge surge, including myself. I just had my 3rd booster dose, and a lot of folks across the country are rushing to go and ensure that they have the 3rd booster dose, because of the fact that there's a lot of transparency on how information have been disseminated so far. The data are very clear that the 2 vaccines are those may not be sufficient because of what I said earlier, the highly mutated new variant of the Omicron, which is one of the reasons why the government is saying that in order for us to be able to at least have an understanding, pending when the pictures become very clear, that it's important for us to ensure that everybody within the vaccinable age gets a booster dose. And this is what's been going on. And the target at the moment is about 1 million per day. It might be difficult because the NHS is already overstretched, but what they're doing is they're using various centers, the GP centers, these primary health care centers, to become part of the vaccination centers to be able to meet this target. So that's what's going on at the moment.
Would you say the UK still has a number of people who are hesitant to take in the vaccine in the first place?
Absolutely. You still have a lot of people who have beliefs that this is another flu to go away, and there are some people that feels that if I die, what's life anyway? So, and a lot of people believe that They're considering a lot of like in the Western world, a lot of cancer and all of that are not usually common in most developing world. That sometimes some of these cancers could possibly be linked to vaccine. They are still going to wait and see what happens in the next 2, 3, 4 years to see what comes out. Well, the sad thing is the fact that most people that have come out to like severely affected and died from COVID-19 lately, post-vaccine days, have been those who were not at any point in time keen to receive the vaccine, which is the sad news.
All right. Also, the new restrictions ahead of winter is, home working arrangements if you can, more mask rules, theatres, cinemas, COVID pass mandatory into nightclubs. I'm sure not everyone is quite happy with this arrangement.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of people here enjoys their freedom, and partying, outdoor activity is part of the normal norms of people's day-to-day life here. So by bringing COVID restriction to take away those fundamentals of life, a lot of people are not happy. But the good thing is the fact that the vaccine is there as an option. Go and take it, which a lot of people are rushing to that option. Then working from home is also something that has almost become part of the normal now. A lot of people work from home because reduce working like when people are in a lot crowded area. It's been known to become the focal point for where people get the COVID-19. So a lot of people are comfortable with that. But what people are not comfortable with is for you to be able to attend any large gathering, to go to any party or to enter any pub, you have to have a negative lateral flow test, or that the other option is to have a COVID mandate vaccine that you have to produce a COVID passport before you can. A lot of people here feels that it infringe on their fundamental rights as human beings, that they have a right to choose what to do and what not to do, and they don't want government to enforce a decision on them. So this specifically has to,
especially with the doubling time for the Omicron variant in the UK. We would like to appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Dr. Olufemi Oyekon, family physician, joining us from the UK. Many thanks.
You're welcome.